All right,
it's 5:30 and call to order the Personnel and Finance Committee meeting. Myself and the City Rep Miguel Clark is here today. And the first thing on the agenda is minutes of September 21st, 2022, and special minutes of October 24th, 2022. And if anybody have any questions about that, we'll accept those minutes. And next we have a personnel update.
So Lisa is out of town for training, but she did provide the updates in your packet. So you have the HR update and the city income tax updates in your packet.
Okay.
Unacceptable.
Okay. The HR department,
Chairman,
go ahead, Commissioner Adams.
our finance director don't have what we need to give us a report on the income tax?
Yeah, he do, no, we don't. It's in your packet, just look over it.
I know it's in my packet, but explanation and questions.
Okay, just send your questions to,
Okay, so will this be the last time that happens? Because
well, I don't know.
we have a finance director that's supposed to be able to give those type of updates.
We'll talk about that during,
Okay, thank you, sir.
thank you, Commissioner. The finance department, one full-time finance director, got that. One full-time accounts payable. We added, finance director, that's an open position right there, you know? That accounts payable.
No, those are the current employees.
Oh. Okay, one more.
So it looks like the open positions are on the back of that page.
Okay, so we did get the custodian position. We looking to fill that. Still looking. Police. Oh, go ahead, city man.
I think it's about 10 lined up.
Okay. Oh, for that position. So, thank you. One, still we're looking for one program coordinator for community economic development. The right director, Little?
Yes.
And one deputy city clerk. So there's.
We're on, Chairman Ison,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
we're on human resources,
Yes,
job postings and everything.
yes.
Okay, I know that we're not privy to personnel information,
Mhm.
but I think that something needs to be said for the appearance of Monday night's meeting as it relates to finances, and I'm pretty sure that that's what probably led up to the employees that appeared.
Mhm.
I don't think that they knew the process of, them wanting to say anything. But, can we, moving forward, look at, I mean, because they do strenuous work. And we've gotten a lot of complaints from residents about Public Works.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure that Public Works themselves, as employees, have complaints of their own. And they should be heard. And we need to fix that.
Thank you.
Because things like that shouldn't happen, even though we didn't get a chance to hear them. But moving forward into our next fiscal year's budget, they actually work harder than police officers,
We working on that, Commissioner.
even though
We working, yeah, they do.
we're working on what, sir?
Trying to get public works together and amping it up. You know, we
Okay,
need
we're talking about finances
finances too. It's gonna
okay,
take more money.
to be talking about reallocate, okay.
That's what it's all about,
Thank
really, you know.
They do.
I guess I just want us to keep in mind that
Yeah.
the federal government is sending down a whole lot of money towards public safety,
Mhm.
And we need to be mindful of the people's budget and moving some money to do more for the community.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr.
Go
Chairman,
ahead.
we don't want it left unsaid that those employees do talk with me.
Okay.
Those employees are in
Community
union
agreement.
negotiations right now.
Right. City manager. Any questions?
Those, Mr. Manager, those are ongoing negotiations right now.
Yes.
Something legislatively though needs to happen for the elected officials if there's a problem. Hello, sir. Good morning.
I just got an email from Dr. Kynes that apologizes is too icy and too dangerous for him to make.
Thank you. Duly noted. All right. Any questions? Any questions about HR?
Yes,
Go ahead, citizen rep.
To the chair, for the finance director.
He's not answering.
Oh,
It's just the HR.
well, I didn't.
Okay. You send it to Mr. McDonald. What is it? Go ahead, Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This is Commissioner Henry, Third Ward,
Commissioner Henry.
and I put in a request
Okay.
several times. I finally got an answer from our HR attorney. Did you read the document, Honorable Chair?
What document is that, Commissioner?
The one from HR attorney concerning who can view the exit review or not?
I did receive that and did read it.
Did co-chair Singleton read it?
No, I didn't receive it. I got some problems with my email, so.
Okay. Well, that inquiry is still hanging out there. And I want the chair and the committee to know that I have not resolved that. And I'm still even after reading what the attorney for the HR said,
Mhm.
it absolutely allows me and any other elected official to have privy to that information.
There you go. That's it. So we'll get that information released to you. What's that?
I'm just saying that I'm getting a pushback and I wanted the elected officials to know that, and please, would you make sure that your co-chair
Yes.
gets that document, you can see what the HR attorney said. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Henry. Go ahead, Commissioner Adams.
thank you, Chairman Isom.
Mm-hmm.
We're still running the HR department by way of a coordinator, and per charter and all the long, hard fighting that a lot of us went through to bring this income tax to fruition. I hope that in the coming year that we will have our finance director putting out a RFP for a director over that department. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams.
HR is not in finance.
We have a coordinator over our
Go ahead, city manager.
administrating.
HR is not a part of finance.
Why is somebody that's not, somebody in HR, an administrator?
HR,
I think through the chair that city manager Mitchell knows exactly what I'm talking about, and we, this elected body, need to fix it.
Mr. Singleton.
I was trying to think what Commissioner was saying, are you talking about the
Income tax
income tax?
Our income tax
Coordinator,
dollars.
the income tax coordinator,
administrator.
administrator. Okay,
What are the job qualifications? I'd like to see them.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Adams. Anybody else?
That is privy.
And income tax
For
specialists,
elected officials.
So,
income tax specialists, I'd like to
Point of
see,
order. Let's just keep the order.
through the chair, I'd like to see the qualifications for that specialist.
Job description,
Thank you.
thank you. Go ahead.
Do we for have a board, review board for the city income tax? I thought we started out with that, but I can't remember.
I think it's on,
It turned out to be a joke too.
that, on the,
So let's have vacant boards.
yes.
Will they be meeting again?
Go ahead, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan,
Ladies first.
No,
go ahead.
I mean through the chair.
Ladies first.
The gentleman,
I'll wait. You're not in a
Gentleman,
hurry anyway.
Miguel asked a question, and I was just following up, asking if that board will be meeting again soon?
Is it taking,
Or was that a 5-year plan, or, I mean, I would like to know something.
So currently, there is not anybody serving on that board.
Can we start advertising that for that board to be filled?
We have,
Thank you, dear.
go ahead.
Did that board dissolve? Cause I was on it, I never received anything saying what.
I couldn't find
We all know
anything saying
that.
it was dissolved.
Go ahead,
Well,
We don't know.
You weren't here,
No,
so
it
I'm not
wasn't
even talking
dissolved,
to you.
it wasn't dissolved, it just we figured it out, it had no authority, it had no reason, and people just stopped coming when they saw that nothing was happening, and they just stopped coming.
when you say nothing is happening, what do you mean?
They didn't have a straight guideline as to what were supposed to do, and it was always a ballot, so they just
The
stopped
main
coming.
ones that didn't wanna see it,
Go ahead,
are the
Mr.
ones that
Mr.
were
Duncan.
holding it.
Mr. Duncan, still,
The ladies are through,
they ain't finished.
Okay. my question was about the manning of the park, but there isn't anyone manning the park.
That,
When was that, when did that start, and when did it end?
you talking about Jingle Park,
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
city manager?
October 31st.
It ended October 31st, with no one there to man the park at all.
No, it closes, officially closed, but still open to the public.
Okay. In the
He
summer,
didn't answer your question, huh?
in the summer, there's no manning of the park, period, during the winter. That's what you're
That
saying?
is correct.
And can I ask why?
Because we have the summer season going from March 1st to October 31st.
Okay, so that means, I would think, anybody is welcome to Jane Clark Park for free, and they can do all this skiing and snowmobiling and all of that. They can do that free of charge. Did you announce that?
That's the way it's been all along.
It's not to the point where it is today. I'm a resident and I know better than that, sir. It's been used, but not like it's gonna be used now. And for it to be unmanned is, or not, you don't have cameras, you don't have anything what's gonna work for that area to watch it, to make sure nothing happens out and nobody's doing the things that they're not supposed to be doing there. Because it gets bad and it's gonna get worse if you don't have to address it. I'm just asking the question. I'm not trying to make an enemy of none of you guys, but Jim Clark Park needs to be manned all the time. I don't care where anybody's from.
Mhm.
All I know is it needs to be manned all the time. And it's our park, and nobody else is gonna man it but us. Even if it's nothing but drive-bys, we do drive-bys on Brothers all day in the city. Do a lot of drive-bys down on Jim Clark Park during the winter. Keep the roads right for who? Move the sand for who? Take the sand away from the beach for who? Come on, we done been through it. If you don't remember, I can come back the next meeting and let you know all the details about all of that and who we still working with and all of that stuff too. I don't forget. You guys got positions and you are easy to forget. But as a concerned citizen, I want you to know I'm here and you know I'm gonna be here. So to not address things, what's that saying you said, Commissioner?
I'll say it, but
Trust the process.
respect.
I'm trusting the process right now. I'm trusting you guys to look out for Jean Clark Park. I don't care what day of the year it is, or what time of the year it is.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Thank
You protect your own.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair,
yes, Sigmund.
to Mr. Duncan and anyone else, if you see something going on, let us know.
Trust me, we tried that already. We tried that with the sand where all those truckloads of sand left. We tried that. So we'll invent ways to help you out, sir.
The cameras.
If you see something.
If
report
you guys
so we
see
know.
something, or in that instance, when you know something and don't do anything about it, laugh the citizens off and let it happen and it got away and kept on working with the city. I ain't forgot, I don't forget nothing, and I'm talking about P&G or whatever their damn name is. B and C, B and
Z.
Z.
Thank you,
That
Mr.
was
Duncan.
it.
If I might.
Go ahead, Director.
Mr. Duncan's point is
I don't
well
think you were
taken
even here.
from past experience
Yes,
some time ago.
Mhm.
We have had problems with people snowmobiling up and down those sand dunes, destroying that grass that helps to hold it together and keep it from shifting all over. Some people actually hauling sand away and stuff of that nature. I'm not sure what the solution is. We may not have the manpower to, but we may maybe look at some kind of way to monitor it.
yeah, the township
It
got
is a
drones.
good point.
Maybe we can
Learn
put-
how to use them or something. You gotta come up to date.
Put that, we'll move that to public safety,
Thank you for hearing me out.
thank you,
Before we move it, sir.
thank you. Okay, one more question,
In regards to what Mr. Duncan is talking about, I just ran across this and though it was a question because we have help. And I just want to know if in fact, for the years that we've talked about it, the funds have finally been set aside for citywide cameras. And Jean Clark Park should be the second on the list for those cameras. But my question is, I'm looking at, projects disbursements. August 24th, 2022, loan for cameras. Whirlpool money is a loan?
We're not on that yet. Commissioner.
Oh, okay, okay,
Let's
well,
go
when
on.
you get there, you know I want to address it.
Hold on. All right, one more question. All right, we'll move forward. Yes, next on this financial report, that's, we got Director Williams here, report to us.
Yes.
Just an update on what's going on and where we standing, where we at with the budget and all that. Thank you. You got the floor.
Okay. First, I just want to ask you guys to bear with me. I got like a scratchy throat right now. So I'll be clearing my throat as I continue to give you guys updates. And we have an extensive list here explaining financial status and what's going on with various things. And I would like to get through that list. So for number 3 on this list, the financial report, and I have here that the general fund, as of last year, was 153,543, but as of the end of October of this year, it's only 45,310. The general fund income tax, as of last year, was 2,279,968. And at the end of October of this year, it's 3,687,132. Major and local street funds was at 743,622. As of this year, it's at $1,457,525. The permanent public improvement fund was at 398,000. $1,642,642. And as of today, it's at $192,208. And next to last, we have the utility services, which as of last year, and this is critical, it was at 158,996. As of this year, zero. It's not-
Say that again.
The utility services fund was at 158,996 as of 10/31 of 22. There's nothing there. And I would like to elaborate on that as we go down this list here. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And so the property tax collection fund was at $750,702 last year to now is this year is at $3,414,636 and still counting. And if I may go down the list, or would you like to pause for questions or anything as we go down the list? Okay. Yep. So number 4 on the list of discussions is the financial metric report on the city's website, and we have that. This is what I was reading off to you guys. Yes.
Wait a minute. No, that's on the, oh, yeah, that's on the agenda. Let's just stay with the financial stuff right now.
Okay.
So the utility fund is at 0 right now? Is that because of collections?
Yes, because of collections. And
How's the collections looking right now?
okay, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so October 19th, 2022, we had to roll over those past due accounts. So we were at 639,381 of past due. So once we rolled over those past due accounts to the tax roll, it went down to $216,883. But now, currently, as of 11/16/2022, it's going back up. Now it's at $303,188 because we're not collecting, so those past due amounts is starting to swell again.
Because of the no shut off too. Right?
Because of the no shut off, yes, and it's absolutely critical. And it's critical because without that, we are running low on cash.
Borrowed Robin Peter to pay Paul.
Yes.
So how much, what is the minus? How much, what is the shortfall? Is the collections and how much is in collections? You know,
How much
you
is?
don't have it now, but
Yeah, but I can get that for you. But the amounts right now is at 303,188, and that's just 30 days prior to that. It was only 216,883. So it's climbing. So after the day and following on the next month, it'll go back up. However, there was a discussion, but that's on this list here. We can save that.
right.
Yeah.
Ready for question? Any questions for the finance director? See?
You said there's no money in the utility fund, so we're not collect.
Right, because we're not collecting, and there's no shutoffs, so the citizens are not paying, so we're not collecting, so there's no money going to the utility fund.
So what can be our solution for that?
I do have the solution here, but it's in the other it's on the agenda, and I want to touch on that, so I'll make sure I give you that information.
Oh, go ahead, see?
Some people paying some, I think. I see some people at the window paying the bill.
Yeah, but the utility fund,
By being below 0, so whatever the people paying,
right,
don't get it back to 0 yet. So
Right.
it's still 0.
we're in the red.
Right.
So the people that's not paying outweighing the people that's paying.
Absolutely. Tenfold.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yeah, he just answered the question that, he just answered.
Commissioner Adams?
Thank you, Chairman Isom. I asked a question via email, and I probably should have addressed it straight to Rhonda, since she's older than our finance director, but I think I answered Tiffany. And that was just basically the collection of the brownfield dollars. Are we doing this thing again by withholding and not dispersing those funds to the Brownfield Authority so that it reflects the city's audit? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so on the brownfield, I had the discussion with her today about that. And what we're doing is that we're waiting for another influx of property tax payments to come in. And once those payments come in, then that's when we're going to disperse to the brownfield.
Okay. I know it used to be a problem that they disperse them when the county and
Yes.
and everybody else got their disbursements, but
Mhm.
for several years, yeah, that's been happening. Okay.
Yes, Finance Director Williams, so where we at with, lead line service? We finished, the job is done, everybody paid.
Well, it's coming near completion, and I don't have the specific details in front of me regarding that, but I do have a general idea of where we are with that. And I believe we're down to maybe one or two last payments to go, and we should be done, and the work should be complete.
We use all the Booker grant funding, we use all that.
Just about.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Any more questions for the finance director? Mr. Henry?
I just wanna make a comment about that last drawdown for the lead,
Sir.
millions of dollars. That we didn't get any Section 3 jobs or training out of,
10%.
or we didn't get a lot of minority contractors either. So I just wanted the citizens to hear it. That we didn't get anything out of all of them millions, 33 million, what was it? We didn't get a lot of jobs out of it. And we didn't even implement our own Section 3, which would have provided training from that last drawdown. The ones that didn't abide by our Section 3 would have gave us a last drawdown to hire some people. And the whole country is talking about apprenticeship. What better thing to put that money into is apprenticeships. So, thank you, Chair,
Thank you.
for letting me
Mr. Henry.
stand on this soapbox.
You want to say, Commissioner Amber, standing up, you all right?
I just have a question, and
For the
since
finance director?
it has a dollar amount that would be attached to it, I guess somebody need that answer, but I'm gonna direct it to you, Chairman Isom. And that's the mere fact that COVID is still alive. It isn't well, not with any of our souls, I'm sure. But we have some other strands that are following it. I think it would do us well for the citizens that do show up to have a box of masks and sanitizer available for them. As well as, I mean, we have some large ones up there. But yes, sir, I think it's time to put the machines back out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good deal.
and we definitely need somebody to clean
Yeah,
City Hall.
definitely. We working on that. Yeah, city manager, some masks and put it in, you know, they said it is on the uptick. So we wanna make sure everybody's safe. My wife said, you better be wearing your mask. So nobody don't tell you.
Well, this building, I feel is safe. I feel that this building is great.
Director Little?
Mask, sanitizer, and gloves
Yeah.
are being delivered this week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director
What
Little.
kind of
Oh,
mask?
that's the best thing that's happened.
K95.
God is great.
See there? Things I have,
I got a question.
go ahead, Director.
What fund is that coming out of?
CDBG.
All right
All
now.
right. You get things done. That's right.
I don't want to brag too fast.
Glasses on. All right, we're
My
gonna move
hand
on
was
next,
My hand
we're
was
gonna
up.
move. we're
My
gonna-
hand was up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Duncan, calm down.
Going to keep it up when I'm ready to.
Mr. Duncan,
My question was, when are the masks they're gonna be brought next week. And where are they gonna go, and are you gonna distribute them, or people have to come here in the cold to get them?
They'll have to come here to get them. We'll have a listing, they'll have to sign for them and give their address. But it requires that we maintain documentation to show that we're giving them to citizens of Benton Harbor.
Well, I wanna thank you for saying it after my question. That's the kind of stuff we're supposed to be all over the air. In Benton Harbor. No, I heard him, I'm sitting right here with him. I'm talking about for the citizens. I'm not, see, you guys are too self-centered, too into each other and on all of that. I'm talking about the citizens. I don't feel like we're being dealt with the way we should, and especially seniors was sick and can't get out and come down here or do anything to get it. We gotta do a whole lot better than what we're doing. The last pandemic ought to taught us, the beginning of this pandemic should have taught us something. And I don't think we learned nothing. The older we get, the wiser we're supposed to get.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Johnson.
tired.
And
That's why we got masks.
And-
Learning from all this.
and-
Okay, just,
I wanna understand why the machines aren't in here, because
They're in here.
I heard somebody say. it
Don't
weren't.
believe it, it's in here. I
Okay.
wouldn't be in here.
All right, thank you.
thank you. Commissioner,
I got a question through the chair for Mr. Little. You said masks are being delivered for residents. How many per resident, and then it's all the residents gonna get masks?
The residents that come down to City Hall.
Okay, that's what
typically
I was,
We're gonna
that's what. I
do it
thought.
through the window downstairs where they pay water bills.
The ones that come to the meeting or come pay bills, what do you mean? Cause all residents come to City Hall at some point, paying bills, what do you
Well-
mean? Come to meetings?
The process is that having to have someone hand them out and have them sign a document that they're there, it's gonna be there during the period when people are in City Hall working. So they'll come to when people come to pay the bills or whatever, they come into City Hall, they can go up to the window, request them, and they'll receive them. They'll sign for them, and somebody has to, do a verification, at least look at a license or something to say they're city residents. That's what HUD requires us to do.
Okay, yeah, I know the requirements well, but I just wanted to know how many are they, whoever signs and all that, how many are they getting?
We'll handle it just like they did when the feds were putting them out. They'll basically get 3 masks and a bottle of what's called.
Well, the last time, a lot of people didn't get none. A
Understand?
lot of friends, family, I didn't need it, but I didn't get none.
Whole lot.
And a whole lot of more people didn't get them. And from what I was hearing, people was, I know some of the commission, I wasn't a commissioner at the time, was getting boxes, and I guess giving to whoever contact them or whoever they want. So a lot of residents did not get masks. So that's why I asked how many, and then it's everybody getting them.
There will be enough for everybody who comes in to let a
Very,
resident
very.
take a look at.
we'll work on make sure we get everybody, distribute the masks. To everybody, all residents.
We can trust this process,
Well, yeah.
Well, we kind of have to trust this process because the reason we didn't do it before was because HUD was holding our feet to the fire. If we were gonna deliver them, they wanted either firefighters to deliver them, police officers to deliver them, somebody that could verify that they were going only to city residents.
Yes.
And as I told them, we don't have people to do that.
Yes.
So as a consequence, we didn't do it. But now that we're a little bit ahead and that it's rising back up again, we're gonna have them there, let people know that they're there, they can come in and they'll be assessed.
Right.
How is this information then out? Is it gonna be a press release or anything, or we going by word of mouth?
We'll put the information out by press release and on the radio.
Last question.
I just want us all through the chair to remember that the last time, we all took it upon ourselves. I think I was a couple of years younger and I was able to get out. And then not only that, run a beauty shop and in contact with people that have family members, they were a big help when I did pick some up. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't enough for the whole community, but us elected officials that know some people in Lansing, that know some people in Washington, our jobs don't stop in Benton Harbor. We need to be lobbying for more because we don't know how long these three together are going to last.
Mhm.
So I and some other organizations are definitely doing our part.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, next we're gonna move on. We're gonna move number 7 up. The discussion, high water infrastructure grant program proposal.
Okay, we are moving into the process now as we look at funds that are available for various components of economic development activities that we're undertaking to try and get some things done. Money comes available at different points in times for different things. We are right now engaging with various players, NOAA, Eagle, Army Corps of Engineers and others related to not only Ox Creek, but also Riverview Drive. And so we're going after what money comes available to do what's best. So we've asked this evening Ms. Marcy Hamilton from SWIMPAC to join us and give an overview on this particular grant that we want to have advanced to commission, and we'll have a resolution ready for Monday. But this grant is due, its deadline is within about the next 10 days, I believe. It's certainly before the next commission meeting would come. So that's why we bring it in this committee and wanting to go ahead and move it forward.
All right,
Marcy.
Marcy.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Adams said the federal money and state money is starting to flow with all this, ARPA money and different things. And so the state's kind of in the same boat as you guys. They've got all this money, they got to figure out how to spend it, and there's timelines on it. And so we're trying to keep up with it and help the city try to identify, what grants are out there, what would be competitive. These grants are very competitive. The one I'm talking about tonight is statewide, and $15 million sounds like a lot of money, but when you split that up statewide, there's probably only going to be about 25 or 30 awards made statewide. And if you know how many municipalities in Michigan, that's very competitive. So we've been working as a team with, like Alex said, with Eagle and U of M and us and everybody looking at the different opportunities and trying to be as strategic and set us up to be as competitive as possible. As we've submitted a grant to NOAA to really do a lot of work on Ox Creek that we'll hear about later this year. Then U of M has submitted a really nice proposal to the Army Corps that's going to give the city some money to look at flooding overall in the city and do a lot of modeling to help us understand how we can start what we need to do to help with the high water events that happen here. Remember Main Street getting flooded and, the flooding that we had when the high waters were here. And so then this grant came down from the state through the Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, EGLE, I'll say is short, for this high water infrastructure grant program. And I think what we're recommending the city, this whole team of people are recommending the city move forward with is looking at Riverview Drive from Main Street all the way to Yarborough Park. And as you know, that area got really flooded bad during the high water, and it affected access into the city and access to the businesses, and it hinders future development in that area big time. And it's one of, I think, the key assets of the area of your city is that riverfront area along Riverview Drive. And so what we're proposing is to put, one more thing. So there's more money coming down the pipeline that we know of, and there's a grant that's going to be coming out next year that says if you have 90% engineered plans there's supposed to be a grant through our coastal zone management program that $6 million with no local match would be available to implement what they call nature-based solutions to handle high water flooding. I know you were at the rain garden project down at the Mire, right? So that's a nature-based solution, right? Building those wetland areas to gather the water. And so that's the type of things that we could incorporate down along Riverview Drive in areas that make sense after we study it and understand it. So what we're proposing at this grant goes in to develop those plans, engineered plans, and sets you up quickly, hopefully, to be able to access these other funds coming in. So the proposal is to develop first we get a concept and vet it through the public and the commission to make sure everybody's good with it. Once everybody's good with it, then we'll send it to the city engineers. They would develop engineering plans and start the permitting processes and get you shovel ready to implement that. And then when that money comes available from that other pot, we'll be ready to go for that and maybe get, some big dollars to implement some pretty major things that could really improve that Riverview Drive area. And like I said, set it up for future redevelopment. Because right now, it's hard to attract a developer to an area that has so much flooding. Is it gonna fix everything? It's not gonna fix everything. There's other things going on, looking at bigger picture through UMass. Like I said, they just got a grant through Michigan Sea Grant and US Army Corps of Engineers to look at other areas of the city. So it's not like we're ignoring other areas. That's being addressed through some other pots of money. This would be targeted from, like I said, Main Street to Yarborough Park, along that area to see how we can do some things to help reduce the flooding in that area during high water events. Any questions, Chair?
So with this grant, who be writing the grant?
So I would offer to write the grant for the city. The city would be the applicant if the city chose. Either the grant is set up either for a municipality or for the regional planning agency to be the applicant.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I want this to be a city project. I would rather the city be the applicant and be the driver of it. We'll be there to assist and help get it through. And what's nice is I can help with some of the process and the grant administration, and all my time can be counted as local match to help you guys bring the grant money in. So we're willing to do that. All of our time would be set as local match. And then we would use some of Alex's time to be involved in it. That would be local match too, to leverage this money that would come in to pay really the engineers to do the engineering study. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you. Commissioner Singh.
So, basically what I'm hearing you saying that this will put us in position to get the larger money. Yeah, because actually we'll be ahead of the game, because if you wait when that money come down to $6 million or whatever from wherever, and you don't have this stuff already done, and some other community got it done already, most likely they gonna get the money on the outside looking in.
And one of the things I'd like to say about this, so that everybody understands where we're going. Ultimately, the work that's involved with addressing the high water issues along Riverview Drive and that larger harbor development project that we talked about some time back. And I mean, it comes home as such things I mentioned earlier today in another meeting. We had a person about 9, 10 months ago, very interested in the All Things building to do some things. I went down there with him. This is in the middle of the summertime when it was warm and sunshine there, but there's a big pond of water sitting out in the backyard. That's a water table being high. Same thing even next door at the bank where that parking lot is, holds a big pond of water right in the middle of it all the time. That's a problem. But we'll be coming as these grants come available, and they're gonna be coming fast, and we'll be coming to you fast. to try to take advantage of it. For example, the whole Ox Creek project. Ultimately, to get done what we envisioned for there, we're probably talking $20+ million or more. But it's gonna come in pieces and it's one part that qualifies you for another part and that kind of thing. And one source will fund the land cleanup, but won't do the water, and another one does the water. And as we bring those, and the thing about it, recognize, as city government, with our very limited number of employees, we don't have the capacity to write the grants or to manage all of them or to do all of what's necessary within the time frame that's going to be required. We're gonna have to rely on others. And fortunately, we're blessed to have a team of some of the best minds in the state and even outside. EPA regional director has been up here, sent her deputy director up here, and he came back with 2 of his deputies. And they came in saying, we're looking to see what we can do to help you. It's the opposite of what it normally is, where you're begging for money and they're finding ways to tell you no. They're trying to help. So if we just stay the course and have you all work with us on this so that we go ahead and do the things that need to be done in a timely fashion. And we'll get people to do what needs to be done who have the qualifications and capabilities to do it. Like U of M, they've got experts in these areas that have worked on flooding in Holland and Netherlands and everywhere else. They know this stuff inside and out. When they speak, the government listens. So we're going to be trying to move this city and its issues with this one-time opportunity. And believe me, that's what it is. I've been out here 50 years now dealing with this kind of stuff. Usually you get plans ready, there's no money. Money is always a sticking point. Right now, not only do we have plans, we have people with a mindset willing to help and putting their shoulder to the wheel, and the money is there. The tea leaves cannot line up any better.
Okay, as a follow-up question to the, of course, thanks for that. This is done with minimum to almost no impact on the city's general fund.
Correct. There would be no money coming from the city, just Alex's time that he would spend on it. We're gonna count that as local match. So it's an in-kind contribution. There's no cash from the city that would be going into it. We're gonna get the local match from others, in-kind sources and stuff like that. So yes, this would be usually a lot of these grants have a higher match percentage. This is only at 20%. We're still working on the budget and obviously we'll have it by Monday. I'm anticipating it being around $300,000 grant, but like I said, the city won't be responsible for any of that 20% match. The resolution, that we have to put in to get the grant says, there'll be a 20%, but it's all gonna be worked out that it'll be in kind and not coming out of your coffers. Good question, thank you.
Okay. So I see something about Harbor Shores. Is a funding area near Harbor Shores?
Yeah, and what you're looking at there in the packet is the bigger grant that I talked about that U of M is getting from U.S. Army Corps to look at citywide flooding. It's a big grant through Michigan Sea Grant and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers that they are looking at. Benton Harbor and Milwaukee are the 2 areas that they're looking at. And they're gonna come in and look at a bigger picture of what's happening with the flooding. This project is gonna focus, like I said, from Main Street to Yarborough Park along Riverview Drive, that area specifically, to try to, so they're gonna be moving in tandem, they're gonna be doing, U of M and Army Corps are gonna be doing this bigger look at the city and finding solutions. And then we're gonna focus in on Riverview Drive specifically to come up with those 90% engineering plans and try to move that forward with this other funding. Does that make sense?
In Main Street where
In Main Street, yeah.
businesses have been.
Where Riverview and Main Street connect all the way to Yarborough Park.
That bigger picture she's talking about is when the lake level goes up, the river goes, St. Joe River goes up, Paw Paw River goes up, the Ship Canal goes up, it backs up into Ox Creek, backs up into Willow Creek, all the tributaries, everything flowing down to these rivers and into the lake, they all come the opposite way. And as that happens, your water table in the land rises, creating problems. And so the bigger picture deals with looking at the resiliency effects of all of that and what might need to be done and what can be done to address those. But this is starting with a problem that we know we have down there, even when water's like it is right now.
Commissioner Griffin.
Through the chair, can you state your name, your company, and your position?
Yeah.
Please.
Marcy Hamilton, I'm with the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission. Our office is just down the street. We're the regional planning agency for Berrien and Cass and Van Buren counties. I've been working here in Southwest Michigan since 1998, so over 20 years writing grants, working on water quality, working on trails, working on economic development and those types of things. So when the city passed a resolution about revitalization of Ox Creek, that's something I've been working on for a while, as some of you know, and so that's where my passion is water quality and those types of things. So it was a perfect fit to get involved and try to bring our services here. And it's at no cost to the city to help for us to write these grants.
And your position is?
I'm a senior planner, deputy executive director there.
Okay. Also, I wanted to say, Mr. Little talked about, sewer can back up and high water. Okay, we got a lot of residents sewers backing up and been doing it for years. And he talked about, traction to the downtown. Well, it's hard to navigate through, get attraction, expansion. It's also hard to get to residential area when you got water. We got floods all through a lot of residential inner city areas. That's been going on for years. And also we got people water backing, like we said, back up in their basement. And it's so we having a lot of residential. I know everything that's coming in is focused on business, commercial, and all that. We need to focus a lot of stuff on the residential. We got people coming down here suffering, paying and insurance, sewer backing up and all that too, high waters. So I think we need to, when we getting all these grants, because I'm here in Riverview, Maine, I'm in with the park, and then I'm also talking about Harbor Shore, and Ox Creek, a lot, we've been doing a lot there, of course. Yeah, we want to see progress there. That's all my ward, majority. So, but I also want to see something in the inner city, which is big ward. The fourth ward is the biggest. It's its area. And it's a lot of people having issues there too. So we want to see, things done. And then my last point is when we did the lead service line, a lot of areas are flooding now that was not. I've noticed a lot in the fourth ward. It's flooding now that wasn't before they fixed these lead services. So we need to take that into account when we're doing these grants, not just focus business area, commercial area. We need the resident, the taxpayer, like he said, expansion, but we got people live here every day, all day. That got issues need to be taken care of. High water.
And Chair, can I address that a little bit? I'm totally with you, and there's different grant opportunities that have different focuses. And I understand that issue and I take it heartfelt. And there's been some really great examples in some other cities of how they've used green infrastructure in neighborhoods to address basement flooding and stuff. And that's something I'm a huge proponent of. And as soon as the right grant comes out for that, I'll be knocking on your door saying, here's an opportunity to do that. This one's not quite the right one for that. But that big U of M study I talked about, I think we can use some of that to figure out exactly where we need better data of where those areas are And that we need to start working on collecting that, and when we have that, and when the grant opportunity comes out, that's focused on that, that's when we're gonna go for something like that, because I'm with you, that's in, I've seen it in, all cities deal with this, because the way we developed land, we weren't thinking about how the water is gonna react, and especially with climate change and the high water, nobody was expecting this. And here we are, and now we gotta come back and find these solutions. So that is on my radar, and I totally appreciate that, and I'm totally 100% in support of trying to deal with that issue too, because it's just as important.
I think we should do research and find grants that's focused on
Yeah.
specifically to get stuff done in residential.
All at the
Just
same
like you
time.
see those for business, focus on research and get some for the inner city.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Evans?
Yes, so it kind of goes in coalition with the whole conversation. Just maybe 2 weeks ago, I went to the Eagle up in Muskegon. And actually, it was the Great Lakes, no, it was Lake Michigan Beaches Association given by Eagle. It was mostly about beaches, inland beaches. But during the conversations outside of the workshops with a lot of officials there, researchers and all those, conversation was coming up. And when they found out I was from Ben Harbor, conversation did come up where even an official from Canada, they were talking about what she was saying, grants will be coming. But because everybody is having that same lake problem on the edge, and the way that the lake feeds into, or how all the water bodies feeds into, at times when the lake is lower, it drains out the inner city. And when it rises, it floods the inner city. And you can fix the inner city, if I'm understanding this right. You fix the inner city first and don't fix the edge will bust it out because you got the lake. So they were saying that fixing the lake and your large bodies of water, then you do the inner city, to alluding to what she was saying. And Mr. Little, those pieces, from my understanding, are coming.
And the thing you need to, as I said earlier, understand about this. Feds, state government, county, city, all the way up and down, they've got between now and 26 to spend this money. The federal government is putting it out through Treasury, through the FBI, and going into law enforcement, agriculture to their parts. It's coming through every system, the same with state government. I'm sure they are working on putting programs together to push this money through on a constant basis for all of the different issues that exist. And we could look up next week and see that they put something out here saying to address inner city issues with sewers and whatnot. Water and wastewater come in different tranches, I guess they would call it. So when it does, we'll be looking for it.
And my question to that stretch, Yarborough to Main Street. Starting at Yarborough, so it's listed from, I think from Yarborough to the boat launch at Yarborough Park. Then Ben Harbor Boat Launch up to the water taxi. Now, is that county or state?
So that,
That
the
goes up
boat
to Chase?
launch is state. The DNR owns the boat launch. And then there's the marina, and then there's the water taxi, and then the boardwalk, and then there's a strip. So we'll be looking at all that area, but also inland too,
Right.
a couple of blocks to make sure we're taking
Right.
that whole area, trying to figure out.
Because it is a swamp.
It
Yes.
was a swamp.
That's the problem.
It was a swamp.
It's a swamp because when we have kids at work, And we went down there a lot that we wanted to go further across the sidewalk. And we wouldn't let them because it is a swamp and we don't know.
It wants to be a swamp, that's what it was.
You have to be geared up to go in there to something you don't know what's in there. So, yeah, but now does that help being, as far as the funding, all that collaboration together?
Yes, having the city park, having the DNR assets there, having that new water taxi there, having all of that, those assets there. I mean, I see residents down there fishing a lot.
Not much,
Not much?
not much, not much.
Okay.
And I can speak on that later if you'll let me.
If I may.
Yeah, but I understand.
But yes.
I
Thank you.
understand what you're saying.
What was your name again?
Marcy.
Marcy, yeah, that's right. Thank you, Marcy. I heard a little bit that wanted me to ask you, the question was, any portions of this grant, the coastal grant, and I think that Mr. Commissioner Edwards actually mentioned that meeting. I did a lot of reading and research. I'm one of those elected officials that do what I thought elected officials supposed to do. And when it wasn't working, I had to go and start a nonprofit. Because a lot of these grant dollars that you're talking about they're using grassroots organizations to help to get the stuff done. So if you get some for Benton Harbor, and there's another endeavor that needs to be taken care of, a grassroots organization can help take care of that. Now, my commissioner over here of the Fourth Ward mentioned something that was very important, which was why I was pressing the issue so bad about the letter of intent. Because we're fully aware that the infrastructure of Benton Harbor in America is just shot. And if funding is becoming available next year for us to hit some of our sewer problems that could possibly be forgivable, why would we pass up that opportunity? But hopefully that's going to happen. I'm a faith rider. I don't believe in sight of a flood or anything else. But just to be mindful, while we all planning in our little bitty prospective places and spots on planet Earth, while the glaciers melt, with water being the larger mass than land. Yeah, keep building.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'm not done, sir. My other question was, is this grant the one, I have a lot of them, and evidently I've been sending and sharing them to the wrong person and people. You should be the one I'm sending them to. I do a lot of reading and researching, and there's a lot available. I have grant writers and things, and we're working on our portion. Project Need Foundation is working on that outside of government, because government can be messy, which is why things have not been done. But the grant that you're talking about, is it the one that's related to the stream like Ox Creek along with Hall Park? Because there was a real large amount of money that was up in the bid for those purposes, for like Hall Park as well as Ox Creek.
This grant is through the state. The only eligible applicants are either regional planning organizations or municipalities.
Okay.
Nonprofits are not eligible for this
Okay.
money. So there's, a lot of grants will only do nonprofits, a lot of grants will only do municipalities.
I'm thinking that this is the one though, because I think that there was an attachment that it could have possibly been Hall Park as well.
We looked at the various grants that are coming available to try to match what has the best
Yeah,
opportunity.
and some of them are
for
large
success.
matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're looking at all of
Okay.
them, NOAA, Spark,
Okay.
High Water.
I'll just end that there, but please
I'd
give
love-
me your
yeah.
information.
Let's
I'd love
connect.
to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy, so much. We're gonna move this forward.
So I don't get a question?
Oh, go
I
ahead.
had my hand up.
Okay,
The ladies can go first.
Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think this is a great opportunity for us. when they said we don't have to spend any of our money that we don't have, that's a great opportunity. Back in, I'll have to give everybody some history. At one time, the city commission asked that if there was any grants written on the stacks of Benton Harbor, that they would come and tell us. It passed unanimously, and it went on for a while, and then after a while, there was no need. Now, we passed our recycling, we had a grant on that, and I understand there's some additional stuff that was added to it. I don't know. But I do know, as in a capacity of elected official, I should know. So here we got one coming up here now. Now we hear citizens say that, yeah, when they come for their stuff, they get it. And here's one of their stuff. But it's for us as the whole. But if we don't put it in our perspective that the citizens, if our staff don't know that the citizens are first, they will be bringing these projects from Commissioner Griffin Carr Ward, 4th Ward, they will bring in that forever until it's done. So when do we tell staff to look at Benton Harbor residents' problem? When do we tell them to look at it? Because I can point to you to 3 grants that come through here that did not affect 3rd Ward, 2nd Ward, or 1st Ward, but it affected 4th Ward. I mean, you got to be, Stevie can see this. Stevie Wonder can see what's going on. So when do we, as elected officials, tell our staff that priority is Benton Harbor residents and their sewer problem?
We did get
Chair,
something
I'm
second.
sorry, excuse me.
As a commissioner of second
It's,
ward, we
Mr.
did
Duncan.
get a grant.
I would like to,
Point of order.
I would like to,
Mr. Duncan was next.
Okay, I'm gonna let the lady speak.
oh, thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Duncan.
that's
Thank
fine.
you, sir. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay,
Thank you.
last question.
I would like to say that, Director Little mentioned that he would have this ready for us at our meeting. If we could possibly have all that information and what it entails prior to, and we have a special meeting if we need to give that approval so we don't miss the deadline. Because see, we have to read what's really going on, because I hate surprises.
Meetings Monday.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Director Little.
we did send out in your package, you
Yes.
got a.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that's
It's
small.
included in there that explain, well, it's a summary that explains what exactly it's about, but the reality is, you get into the actual grant stuff, it's gonna be about hydrology and,
Okay.
all of that kind of stuff.
There ain't no building going on, no.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Mr.
And on that other point, staff already understands what the commission's priorities are. But priorities of any type, doesn't matter whether you're doing it at home or doing it for city government.
Yeah.
It requires funding. It's like the song about love without finance, you know, you've got to be able, so we work with what money is available. That's what I was saying to you earlier. As it comes, we reach out for it. We don't wanna stand by and let millions of dollars go by because we're waiting.
I don't wanna see
For
our
something
street
else.
looking like that any longer.
How long did we beg for?
Mr. Duncan, go ahead. Mr. Duncan, come on, we gotta move on. Mr. Duncan.
As far as the building of whatever you guys gonna build, the grant's gonna build for the flood wall. My question is, sort of like commissioners, if the problem starts on the lake, seem like you'd be building something, a wall on the lake, because that's what you really have to build is a wall. And if I could be wrong about that, but the way I see it, the lake comes all the way to Yarborough Park when it's bad. It's like another different flow. And if you're not on the river, you don't even know about nothing like that. When it happens, if you're not down there, you don't know how much water comes back the other way. So my thought was, how high is this wall gonna be?
Snow.
And how long is this wall gonna be?
We're not-
And I'm a concerned citizen, that's why I'm asking the question. I love, you gonna stop me or, I got one more minute? What I got? Tell me.
Finish your statement, Mr. Dunn. So I think you got the wrong understanding.
No, I don't have the wrong, listen, I don't have the wrong understanding. I see what you guys are saying and doing.
There's
You
no
know,
water.
so if it was about the citizens, it wouldn't be happening at all.
Let's ask Mr. Marks.
I'm not asking anybody anything. I'm trying to get a point across. And as usual, you guys interfere with citizens while they're trying to communicate with you. I don't want to be sitting here trying to get my point across for a long time. You stopped us from fishing. The state men was brought in to harass the people, run them off the river. Now we got this, and that was just like when they supposedly was gonna drain the river the last time, make it 6.5 feet deep. I know you commissioners remember that, don't you? Never got to be 6 feet deep. Still 3.5 feet, 4 feet deep. That's why we were asking about the buoys, but you guys didn't even know that much. We was asking for the buoys so we could continuously fish the way we've done for years. Our grandfathers and fathers and stuff fished the river constantly. That was the older you get, the more people you get to want to do that. But you gotta get old to do that. You gotta come to the river and see it and know what it's about. Back to the rest of it. It's not about the citizens, because actually that way is actually just going to the courthouse for citizens.
Thank you, Mr.
And we could not go that way.
Thank
But I know a lot of other people don't want to come further up into the city because they build a whole lot of things like roundabouts to keep from coming into the city.
Let's stick with the agenda.
I am on the agenda.
Stick with the agenda.
I just want you guys to know, build a wall.
Thank you, guys.
That's what this is all about. Build a wall from Benton Harbor to St. Joe. It's already the east side of St. Joe anyway right now.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. We're gonna move on. Mark, tell them about the.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that there's no proposal for building any walls anywhere. This is a study to look at how we can contain water and put it in places where it wants to go naturally to try to make other areas more ready for development in the future. So the focus will be on nature-based solutions. I know Commissioner Adams and I think a few others we're out of the Meyer where we put the large rain garden in. Those are the types of solutions that we're looking at, not building walls. So I just want to.
Climate change, you had the climate change?
Yeah,
Well, then you ought to know how much more water gonna be in there by springtime.
yes, it's a monumental problem. And I think I started at the beginning, this isn't gonna solve everything. It's gonna take a lot of studies and a lot of work and a lot of money to help, because basically Benton Harbor was built in a swamp, right? And wants to be a swamp. And I'm not gonna totally reverse that, but we need to figure out solutions to help it, be better and to offer areas for us to redevelop and make it better for the city. And like I said, the larger study being done by U of M and Army Corps is looking citywide at flooding and helping us understand that to set us up for other grants. This is just addressing a small area of the city, trying to find solutions that I can promise you won't be about building a wall. It'll be nature-based solutions of trying to figure out where that water can go and be. and then help alleviate other areas. So that's more about what it is.
Thank
So
you, Marcy, for the presentation. Thank you.
You're
We'll move this forward. Thank you. Next, we have the discussion assessment of water payments to property taxes.
Yeah, I even say move it forward, what's been resolved.
The resolution we just talked about, the grant
They moving it to the commission.
to the full bond.
I heard you, I just wanted to make sure I heard you say
Commissioner
that.
Henry, yes, while we on this, while you talking right now, discussion of assessing the water payments to the property taxes. Can you give me some history on that?
We got a solution for it?
I can, yes,
Go ahead.
if I may.
City-
And that was one of the things I had discussed earlier about
Oh, yeah, just,
number 5 on the discussion list right there.
Yes, not five.
Assessment of water payments to property taxes.
Ms. Four, what you just say? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, we missed 4. Okay, I'm sorry. The discussion, finance and metric report on the city website. That's what we wanted on there. City, have we been doing this?
I haven't been uploading.
Okay. Is it possible, is that a norm or city manager?
Can you speak up, please?
This is about the financials reports on the city website. We talked about that at the last commission meeting. See, Commissioner Adams brought it up.
Oh, the matrix,
Matrix,
metric,
mix, yeah.
mutual, whatever
Put
you
it on
call
the
it, mix and
website.
mix.
Mayor suggested that we. Yeah, so, speak on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
So from what I understand is that the city is working towards a website where each director can put the information on there themselves. Right now, we're not quite there yet, so we have to go through a outside source to do it, and sometimes it takes a while for them to get that information up. But we have the information here, but I just wanted to present it to you guys first before we move forward with putting it on the website.
Okay. It'll take a little while to get it on the website.
Yes.
There'll be information like every month, like we get it here, every month is a week, every month it'll be different.
However you wanna do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There are companies out there that, like Unitrix,
Mhm.
that has more than what you see here that can be uploaded.
Yes.
And there's a cost to it, but that's always an option too.
So
Yes.
will we, put it-
System.
so will we put it up there every month? Or how will we? Month.
Every month.
When will that start? I'm sorry.
He is director, finance director, is working on it now. So it takes a little time. So maybe within,
December, they told us our website,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I meant. But would you ask?
go ahead, explain.
no, I was gonna say I can't specify because it's something that they're working on, so I can only go by what they tell me.
Get that?
They is,
The company that's gonna be working on the website, allowing us to put our information on there.
Thank you, finance director. Right, moving to the next one. Discussion assessment of water payments to the property taxes. No, we're talking about the website.
Okay.
We got any information on that?
He the one
City
got
manager?
the information.
If I may?
can go.
Okay.
He got it.
Okay.
Somebody-
Finance director.
All right. So this is what I was touching on earlier
Okay.
when I was talking about the outstanding water payments.
Okay,
And so there is a remedy that can be done. And there is 4.8, roughly 4.8 million remaining from the ARPA funds. And I know that it was discussed at some of the previous meetings through Commissioner Henry, wanted to see if those funds can be used to assist the residents with those delinquent payments. However, it has to be like the previous time, it has to be across the board because it can't be arbitrarily done to where this person gets more than that person, or this person paid their bill and they don't get anything, or this person didn't pay their bill and they get everything. So it has to be discussed upon the commission, yes. And right now, those water payments, if the ARPA funds is used to make those said water payments, then that would increase the utility fund. Yes, that'll be money coming in, and so that's a plus. Because as it stands right now, the city is in dire need, and we are running out of cash. So if something is not done, whether we make these payments for these delinquent water payments, or had to induce shutoffs, something's got to be done. And as your finance director, by me being new here, I just want to be as transparent as possible, because we don't want to go into receivership or become insolvent. So something has to be done.
So I know last time we issued out, I think, $356 toward people's resident water bill, or gave them credit. People that have been paying, it's people that's pay on time.
Yes.
So,
yep, absolutely.
like you said, you want to be fair across the board.
Across the board.
You pay $9,000 here, then these people paying.
Right.
If they're up to date, so I don't know. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Is it a breakout as to, for water, sewer, and trash? Is it, because, the bigger the issue is that, you hear that you shouldn't have to pay for the water because of the conditions. But, there wasn't nothing wrong with the trash, and there wasn't nothing wrong with the sewer, but all the bill is in one. So how do you, and that's a discussion, I guess, among everybody. How do you separate that out? Say, okay,
It should have been separated to begin
we'll
with.
give you some credit for, the water, or if you just get the credit and you use it however you want on the whole bill. But there's sewer, there's trash, and there's water. There's three parts of that bill. But the bottom line is, folks say, I shouldn't have to pay for the water, but what about paying for the trash? What about paying for the sewer?
And that's a very hot topic, because it is three components to that. And so I had these discussions with some of the staff in the office, and it can be done. However, the commission as a body have to get together to decide if you guys indeed want to move forward with that. And if you guys do want to move forward with that, then we in our office can take the necessary steps to make sure that we can meet you guys on what's needed to be done to assist the citizens.
And that utility short fund, when we say it's below zero.
Yes, the utility fund, yes.
That's everything included. That's the water, sewer, and
Yes, yes, because it's all, yes.
First I want to commend you, Mr. Williams,
Thank you.
for coming up with the possible solution. And I would say, it's a win-win to me, because we get relief for the resident. Also, that money can go towards our funding, and it's low. So,
Absolutely,
yeah, so that's all I want to say.
absolutely.
So what I'm hearing Mr. Williams saying, the commissioner can come up with a resolution or some type of problem solving to separate.
Yeah, and this would not be something new that the commission has had to address, because they did it before. And so it's along those same parameters. And so we can strike a deal then.
Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Chairman Isom. I'm just, God, I can't believe we're back here again, but we were under state of emergency then, and I asked Mr. Harris, why can't we choose our own trash company? Why is it even on my water bill to begin with? And I'm glad that we're revisiting it because there needs to be a total separation of them. And asking that question, there's something else that I asked the ladies down in the water department. Because my sponsors, they watch the money, they watch a lot of infrastructural stuff. Dealing with the climate and everything, mainly water. And millions of dollars have come down to help Benton Harbor as well as Flint pay their water bills. I asked the question, how much has Southwestern Michigan paid towards Benton Harbor residents' water? I told them then, and that was earlier last week, that they didn't have to rush, but I think that knowing where we are now, that, yeah, we need that information like ASAP. And they said that they were running out of funds because a young lady had called me and my sponsor gave me a specific person to call in light of who everybody else had to call. And when they called this young lady, they told her that, they took her application because by November 1st that they would possibly be out of funds. But there's some more funding coming. And I'm not sure if it has arrived yet. But them being a nonprofit organization and handling those type of issues in Berrien County. Now that's the thing right there. Have they been taking funds to pay everybody else's water bills as opposed to Benton Harbor residents, the ones that were in and have been in a state of emergency? And if so, I'd like to know how much. We all should want to know how much Southwestern Michigan Action Agency has spent over the course of this emergency with the funds that they've been given for Benton Harbor residents' water bills. One more thing, we're talking about the trash. And I think during the time that it came up, we were in a state of emergency. The question was, if we can't, how about the taxes and everything? Our newly residents in the new development out by our beautiful Gene Clark Park, do they utilize our water, or are they on St. Joe's water? I know they have totally brand new infrastructure, but are they Benton Harbor water customers? Do they use and service Benton Harbor Benton Harbor's trash company? I'd like an answer to those. I mean, it may not be tonight, but.
I don't know about the water, but they
They have the orange
pick up trash out there.
I see they have the orange trash
Oh,
cans out there,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, I just
I don't
wanna know
know
that
And
we are all
They do get
inclusive.
our water, but
We're all inclusive in this thing together.
you need to look at the sewer bill. See who's providing sewer service.
It should all be on Benton Harbor.
I know it should
Because we
be,
pay that too.
but the trip to the moon didn't work out, did it?
I'm not sure I wouldn't own the rocket.
Oh, Director Little?
I'd like to just share a train of thought.
Okay.
Whether or not you guys decide to use more ARPA money, that's elected folks' business, but just years ago, the decision was made to put the sewer and trash on the water bill as a money-saving venture, because if each time you mail out a bunch of postcards or whatnot for billing, there's a cost that goes with it. And back when that started, the cost was probably 17 cents for a stamp. Now it's 50-something cents for a stamp. Well, you don't pay first class, but it's all relative. But that was why that was done. The point is, debts to the city, just like debts to the post office or debts to the bank, they need to be paid. You did not, when you set your rates on these things, build in another 50% or 90% waste that we won't collect. It was to recoup what's needed to run the business of city. Now, this ARPA thing was a one-time shot that came about as a result of coronavirus. Coronavirus, as somebody said a little bit earlier, ain't going nowhere. And it's rising again. That's why we're having the masks and stuff delivered this week. One of the effects that you saw from coronavirus that ARPA was designed to address was that when suddenly people stay home and suddenly your income tax isn't coming in and a whole lot of other parts of your revenue drops, you used ARPA to make up for that in order to stay afloat. It could come back again, and I don't think you're gonna necessarily see ARPA come back again. But whatever you have left of ARPA is probably a one-time opportunity where the city doesn't have a cash reserve like wealthy or well-off cities do. That's the closest thing you have to a cash reserve. And as far as water bills, you're about 99% complete with replacement of water lines. Some point soon, somebody's gonna have to start paying. And not just part, you gotta pay everything. I mean, not necessarily all at once, but I mean, trash bills gotta be paid, sewer bills gotta be paid, water bills gotta be paid. Or else there's a point down here where you run out and the city becomes like a business that has no money anymore. So I just throw it out to think about whether or not, you
Thank you. Commissioner Henry.
That ARPA money would cause a lot of people indigestion. It's been horrible. We thought we were doing something by giving the citizens $1 million. Found out that was $356 per household. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I thought $1 million was a lot of money. It wasn't enough for what's going on. But we need to put some practice in place. I'm with the people. When they say, why should I have to pay for water when I can't drink it? So I am with the people. I feel like that there should be some concession made for contaminated water. Wasn't our fault, the city, wasn't the citizens' fault, but it was taken care of. And so now we are somewhere. I hear staff talking about a payment plan. They've been talking about this payment plan since the bean counter left. And there is a plan, but we need to get it out there to let the people know that there is a plan and that they should be able to make the plan. I mean, I told staff, when they called and asked for my client, they said, well, we want the client to pay $35 a month. I said, this client can't pay $35 a month. Well, now we can't do it. So there's not a plan. Most of the people here, 45% of the people are below the poverty level. That is not a plan. You got to be able to go to that person and say, what can you afford? And that person said they could afford it and they abide by it. We have to give our people an opportunity. And that ARPA money is a win-win situation. We help them out. That helps the city out. And I'm in agreement to take the sewer bill off and separate the water bill because that's the issue. The water is the issue. It's not the sewer. We know that every time we pour water out of our faucet, our sewer bill is connected to the water bill. There's another charge on there, CA, capital improvement. Do you guys know what that capital improvement money is for? Yeah. All right. So I'm in agreement that we have to do something and we have to do it now. Because what we did, what was mandatory by us getting a bond for the water plant to raise the rates for sewer and water, we gotta fix some of that now. We surely gotta do it, and it's gotta come from us.
Finance Director.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what Director Little said. We have to be very careful because once the ARPA money is gone, at some point, we have to collect on those water payments. We have to collect, and I would say, why not? Let's start doing it now than later, because we all know what will happen if the city runs out of money. And we'll be looking at receivership, and the state will get involved and go against the charter and everything that we do not want. So that's just something to think about.
Yes, I agree that we don't want to break the bank. You know, I know we gave out 356.
Yeah.
And to help, you know, credit and put on the water bill, whatever
Yes.
they have left, you know. But, you know, people just not paying right now, you know.
Right.
Even we fix this, how much can we do? We got 4.8. And, you know, we paid almost $1 million with the 356. And we still,
Right.
but we have zero non-utility fund.
Right.
So, you know, what do? We in a rock and a hard place right
Right.
now. So we do want to give the citizens some relief. But sooner or later, we got to start paying.
Yeah, I would think this,
The gap is getting bigger every month.
Yeah.
we just start paying current bills and start to alleviate part of the problem.
Sooner or later, the bottled water don't stop, you know.
Yeah.
So, but Commissioner Adams,
Thank you, sir.
you got a few minutes, a few seconds.
Come
Come on, Commissioner
we're
Adams.
talking about our
Put that thing down.
helping to pay the residents' water bills. And it's a no-brainer because this is their money. We haven't done anything else for them, and we need to be trying to put something towards the educational component so that they can pay their bills later. We got people trying to build houses in the community. If they don't have the education enough to get a job, who gonna buy a home to pay to the taxpayers? I mean, it's a no-brainer. I can't even say anything publicly right now, but there's some people, you'll come to know maybe tomorrow or the day after, working on some issues concerning our water bills, our water plant, along with some other things, okay?
Thank you. Commissioner,
But let us do what we need to do now.
Commissioner,
So let me go to the future. Well, let me start right now. African Americans are in the front of everything that's happening in the United States.
It's coming.
Everything that's happening, and when you see them little posters say it's all about us, it's finally here.
Yeah.
I lived long enough to see some of it happen. This is all about us. And we really need to do something for ourselves. And if you think that 2023 and 24 is not bringing extra money in, because some of the projects gotta kick in some more money. And as long as we are in control of the House in the Michigan, there's some money gonna be floated down to Ben Harbor. So don't get afraid. The faith of a mustard seed is all you need.
Okay.
We are on the right track. Don't let them put fear in you that we can't do it.
Breathe.
Because if we do enough training, people will have jobs, they'll buy homes, there'll be more money in the income tax. I am so optimistic about it. Don't let fear stop us from moving forward.
Breathe,
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
breathe. Act like you can breathe.
Everything's going good, point of order. The one thing I do know, we better stop paying the water bill.
It's in your
Bottom
hands right
line,
now. You putting
sooner or
something
later.
forward.
Finance director, get the process roll, okay, on this. Thank you. We're gonna move on. Oh, that's it.
Are we
Let's go
gonna
home.
have that resolution?
We start the process right now. So,
Okay.
your
Wait a
time
minute.
to you gotta add up numbers and stuff.
So wait a minute. That was number 8?
That was all that.
We were talking about amending,
No, you missed it.
Yeah, that was all that. Me the turn.
oh, okay.
Me the turn.
Thank you, Commissioner Isom. Thank you, Commissioner